Hey, folks, my guest today is Dror. He is the CIO of the IDF's military police, which put him on a technology track. Or sorry, he was the CIO. He's now a serial entrepreneur that built 6 startups before Coro, which he is building with his 3 co-founders to be the go-to cybersecurity platform for mid-market companies. He's passionate about de-crapping marketing, which we love. Dror, you ready to take us to the top?
I am.
All right. How does a CIO in the IDF get excited about fixing marketing?
Oh, it's a long story when we have little time, but I started in the technology track, moved around after leaving the military, and ended up in the US for about 20 years. And one of my tracks that I took was I worked for a marketing company as a technology guy. And then I looked at the marketing guys and I thought, hey, it's a lot more fun. So I decided to move into that direction, and that's how I ended up being a CMO after being CIO and chief security officer and all kinds of different things.
Amazing. Okay. And then when did you leave and start Coro? What year was that?
So we started Coro in 2014.
2014. Okay. And for folks not familiar with the product, maybe give an example of a customer and what they pay you for. What do they get?
Okay, so our average customer is a mid-market company that is very concerned about security, cybersecurity, I should say, and can't afford or deal with all the products that are out there to create a cybersecurity environment for themselves. They would need to buy anywhere between 6 to 15 different products, spend between $40 to $115 per user per month, and then deal with all managing and integrating and dealing with all of these platforms. And what we've done was we created a single platform that takes care of all the security needs of a mid-market or a small business company for $7 a month, and just covering everything from their users to the devices they use, to the networks that they connect through, to the cloud services, to their email, everything through one platform, which is extremely simple to use.
Sure, that's super. What when the average company signs up, how many seats do they typically pay for?
Normally, our sweet spot is around 600.
Okay, around 600 seats at $7 a seat, right?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. By the way, super cheap price for this kind of security package, right?
Not cheap, affordable. The whole point
Affordable,
is
fair.
no, and I'll explain. We actually think that the industry is designed for the enterprise market, and therefore it can afford to price itself that way. The enterprise market can pay 40, 50, $100 per user per month. My customer can, and really what the enterprise players have done was price it in a way that justifies the millions of dollars that they spend on marketing and on wining and dining their customers. And we come to the table and say, none of that. Focus on the customer, give them exactly what they need in a way that they can actually manage it for a price that they can afford.
Yep. Now, I want to go back and get the story of your first customer in 2014, but let's not bury the lead. How many customers are you working with now today?
We have about 4,500 customers on our platform today.
Wow. And they each have 600 seats?
Not all of them. We have customers as small as 20 people and customers as large as 30,000.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So the sweet spot is the 600, 700
okay.
person customer.
Okay. Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right. So the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. But is it fair to say that the total number of seats on the platform is something around 2 to 3 million seats?
It's actually very fair to say. You hit it almost exactly.
Amazing. All right, give me the backstory here. Tell me the story of how you closed your first customer, and if you can, without breaching any agreements, can you name who that customer was?
We cannot name any customers.
Okay.
Nobody wants to be named in a security.
How'd you find them then? Tell us the story.
So the story is that we, very much like every other cybersecurity company in the world, started off as an enterprise play. We looked to sell into the enterprise market, and in that market, there are 2,700 vendors. So fierce competition. And we noticed that while we were targeting these large players, the people that were actually interested in buying were mid-market and smaller players. And then we did a complete redirect. We looked at that market and we said, why have they not bought so far cybersecurity? And understood what were the issues. The issues were complexity and price and dealing with multiple platforms. And then we decided to take a break, redesign the product to fit that market, which is exactly what we did. We launched with Secure Cloud in 2018, and then rebranded and launched a new version of the platform just this year, renamed it Coro, and even made it simpler to use, more integrated with what our customers were interested in, which was mostly email and storage and endpoint devices. Mm-hmm. And gave them something that was extremely easy for them to absorb, manage, and get the security they need.
And Dror, you had obviously the major rebrand. You have new products coming out all over the past 12 months. What was revenue growth rate, and percentage over the past 12 months?
So we have grown 300% year over year for the last 3 years straight.
Wow. Okay. That gets harder to do once you're bigger.
Absolutely. It's much easier to grow from 100K to 300K. It's much harder to grow from 6 million to 18 million. It's a whole different ballgame.
So, do you think you can break 18 million this year?
That's what we're shooting for.
Mm-hmm. Is that a stretch goal, or is that that's a very comfortable goal for you?
Nothing is comfortable, especially not in today's economy, right? We can't take anything for granted. We do think that our product is it's a very unique market product fit, where the market really needs what we offer, and we offer exactly what they need for the price that they can afford.
And Dror, it's fair to say if you're growing at 300% year over year and you're planning to end this year at 18, is it fair to say you closed last year at north of 6, something like that?
It is fair to say that, yes.
That's great. Now, where is most of this growth going to come from? Do you think it's going to be from adding new seats across the current 4,500 customers, or adding new customers altogether?
It's adding new customers. Our even though our churn is a negative churn, because
how negative?
We're at 103%.
Okay, so 103. That's not 100% net dollar retention.
Yeah. So the idea here is that our customers actually add seats, but that's not the growth engine. The growth engine is getting new customers on board, either directly or through our partners. We sell through very, very wonderful channel partners, MSPs, VARs, and so forth. So about 50% of our revenue comes from that, and 50% from direct sales to customers.
Can you share some of your top channels? Like, can you name one of the partners that you're really proud of?
I'm horrible with names, so no, I can't.
Is it like a company though, or is it like an individual with a big YouTube channel?
No. It's all companies. It's MSPs. It's managed service providers. These are people that do IT on behalf of companies that don't have an internal IT team.
Interesting. And now, yeah, so I imagine, because I was going to catch you on this, right? You said you had 2 million seats. Well, 2 million seats, right, at $7 a seat would mean you're doing 14 million of monthly revenue, which obviously you're not. And that's because a lot of those seats are either not paid or these resellers are keeping most of that $7 margin.
So we do have a freemium model. So our freemium model is all about free monitoring for life. And then if you want us to also do the mitigation on your behalf, then that's when you start paying.
I see.
So we do have lots of people on our platform on the free monitoring side, where they get alerts. This is a little bit of old school cybersecurity, where platforms send you alerts and tell you when things go wrong, and then expect you to fix it. Our platform's AI engines can go in and fix cybersecurity issues on your behalf, and that's when you start paying.
I got it. So based off my quick calculations, you've converted something like 150,000 of the 2 million into actual paid seats, correct?
Correct.
And so how do you get more? I mean, can't you penetrate that? I mean, that's not a horrible conversion rate, free to paid, but don't you think there's room there to expand and get that conversion rate higher?
Absolutely. And that's a major focus for the organization. Our growth historically has also come from getting people into the freemium and then moving them on to the paid. So we are, if our growth has been so far completely organic through new customers coming in, we do expect, and the reason we've invested in giving people a freemium product, which obviously costs us money, is exactly for that reason, because we want to convert them into paid customers within a reasonable period of time.
Dror, you have to teach us about this. My audience is always asking, Nathan, have people on that are successfully doing freemium to paid. You're doing it. So what's the playbook? How are you currently converting folks from free to paid?
Oh, providing value. It's very simple.
Can you quantify it though? Like, are you using Snowflake to track engagement metrics and then optimizing for those specific engagement metrics where they hit the paywall? Can you get detailed there?
So the value that we have is a little different. You see, what we're doing is we're providing them for the first time visibility into their real risk environment. So we're for free. They're connect to our platform. They deploy us onto their email and onto their endpoints and onto whatever it is that they're using, their storage systems or whatever. And then suddenly they start getting visibility into the scary stuff that might be happening. And once they start seeing more and more of those alerts and they realize that they are at risk, it's a relatively easy step over the paywall where they say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this risk. Let Coral do that on my behalf. And then we jump in and we take care of all the risks, and they get nice reports on a daily basis of, all the terrible stuff that could have happened, but did because we were there.
That is a major lesson right there, guys. If you can emulate that in your business, right? If you don't convert to paid, here are all the bad stuff that could happen that we're going to make not happen for you. That's, I think, a great analogy applicable to anyone doing freemium to paid SaaS.
Indeed.
It's just easier for you to say the bad stuff because it's literally your website's hacked or your email's, phishing attack or whatever.
Our favorite story is it's the CEO who suddenly their IT guy sees that the CEO is connecting to their email from a country they're not in. And then they realize, oh crap, somebody hacked my CEO, and I found out by mistake. And now I need to react to this. But what if I were asleep? What if it was 3 a.m. in the morning when this happened? Our machines, our AI, the beautiful part about having machines do the work that normal humans do is machines don't sleep, don't take breaks, and don't go on strike. So they just run in the background and do all of the mostly in cybersecurity, it's menial tasks. It's constantly monitoring and running around and doing what in the cybersecurity world is called chasing events. And what we do is we let the machines chase the events and let the humans deal with the really important stuff and not deal with, just turning on and off or sending a new password to someone or identifying when someone's email has been infiltrated with malware or something of that sort.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dror, before we wrap up, we obviously love to learn about how founders fund their business. So did you bootstrap or have you decided to raise capital?
We raised capital from day one. We were part of a word.
An accelerator?
An accelerator, yes. Thank you. We were part of an accelerator. And then we raised money over the years. We've raised over $125 million so far.
Yeah. So break that down for me. The first round was in 2016, I believe. How much was that for?
No, the first round was in 2014.
2014.
We started with a seed round of 1.5 million. And then we just did our C round of 80 million. And then in between, we raised another 35 million.
Yep. I think what the B was in 2018, I think, for 20, yes. Something like that.
Correct.
And did you raise, it was reported the Series C was for 60 million. Was it really 80 and 20 million was secondary?
No, it's really, so the official C round was 60, but we raised another 20 just before that. So
okay.
We prefer to look at it as an 80 in total.
And did you create, when you've been doing this, your early employees have been with you since 2014. Did you use this as an opportunity to create a little bit of secondary opportunity for them or no?
We have not had a secondary yet.
Tell me why. I mean, founders, there's not a right or wrong answer here, but why did you decide not to do that?
Well, part of it is because the founders and the employees believe in the organization that they don't want to give up their equity. This is, we believe that we are in a position to dominate one of the only blue oceans left in cybersecurity, which is mid and small business, mid-market and small business. The entire industry is focused either on the consumer market or the enterprise market. There's a massive marketing between the two.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Thanks. I mean, I think the question is less about do people believe in the company or not. It's more about there's a newly married couple who's been with you since 2014 and finally want to have a kid or buy a house, and all of their net worth is stuck in the business and they'd like to buy a house. How do you help them do that?
Well, we pay very competitive salaries and we have great benefits. So it's not about the exit. We've never ran the organization with the goal being an exit. We've built the organization, and all of our employees are behind us on that by having a vision on righting a wrong and being the dominant player in the market. Mm-hmm. And the wrong that we're righting is actually the fact that this huge segment of the economy has been completely neglected by the industry.
Couple last questions here, Dror. The Series A you raised, that was in, I think, 2016. How much was that for?
If I remember correctly, that was around 4.5 or 5.5. I don't remember the exact.
5.5. And it sounds like you followed a pretty standard fundraising path. Is there anything looking back you would have changed or done differently?
Not really. I think that the key thing that we've done right was we've selected to partner with investors that really believed in our vision. So JVP, who has been with us literally from the seed days until today, they've invested in every single round. They've led every single round until the last one, until the Series C. It's very important who you partner with, and we took that decision, being that all of my partners and I have been around the block several times. We realized how important it is who you partner with. And we've made a very conscious decision to go with JVP, and they've been a phenomenal partner all through these 7 years.
And that's Jerusalem Venture Partners. Dror, going back,
Yes.
do you remember which year you passed $1 million run rate?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay, so after you passed $1 million run rate, after you raised that 20 million Series B.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so I mean, you were really able to sell people in on a vision. Then your revenue is fairly young for a Series B company.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, very cool. All right, anything I missed you want to touch on before we wrap up?
I don't know.
I think this is a great story. I think we learned a lot from you, so I think we can wrap up. Number one. Well, actually, no. I'll ask you one. I'll ask you one last thing. Uh,
Sure.
Most folks in their Series C are selling, 5 to 10% of the business. Were you guys sort of in that same range?
I can't disclose that.
You can't say if you followed the standard path or not.
We followed a relatively standard. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, I'm sure you've seen the news reports on what the valuation was. So
Well, you
you
closed
can.
before that, though, right? Hopefully, you closed before the sort of market took a dip.
Oh no, so TechCrunch reported that our valuation was 500 million.
Is that accurate?
So it's very close.
Okay, very close. That post money or pre?
It's post.
Post. Okay, very cool. Well, listen, we're rooting for you. This will be a fun story to track and follow. In the meantime, though, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
Um, I'd have to say Blink.
Blink. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Elon Musk.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building Coro?
Oh, that's a great question. So we have a few, but I guess HubSpot was huge for us.
Okay. Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
4.5.
Four, that's not a lot of sleep.
Founders don't sleep.
How do you survive? That feels unhealthy, but maybe you're superhuman or something.
Lots of caffeine.
I see. All right. And what's your situation, Dror? Married, single, kids?
I am married to a wonderful wife and I have two beautiful daughters.
Two kids. And how old are you?
I am 53.
53. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Oh, invest early.
Guys, there you have it. Coro.net launched back in 2014. They were helping mid-market companies with team sizes of call it 200 to maybe 1,000 quickly beef up their security and their security stack with affordable pricing, high value pricing, $7 a seat on average. They've just broken call it about a $12 million run rate, up from 6 million just 6 months ago, growing 300% year over year as they scale. Just closed a Series C, 80 million, 500 million post or somewhere in that range, serving over 4,500 enterprises as Dror looks to scale and continue scaling this year. Dror, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, three hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.